What's going on, YouTube? It's your man Coffee Organics, and I know I've been keeping y'all waiting for a long time, but today we finally gonna get into the reaction of Jumanne's "My Friend Is a Psychopath" video. For those of y'all who don't know, even though he did not mention the name, he was talking about me. I am the friend who he calls and deems a psychopath. So we're gonna get into the video. I'm going to react and give y'all pure insight of everything, and kind of confusing where this video came from because, as you know, it was shortly after our video of us reconnecting, and he had reached out to me and he told me, he was like, hey, so I want to do different kind of content, and I want to do a content where the people can like get to know my origins in gambling. So you would be a perfect like person because you was there in the beginning. So I was like, bro, I'm just happy to come around you again, bro, because you've been ignoring me and dubbing me for years. And so sure. And then he was like, oh, like also if you want, you can kind of use this to get your YouTube like career like going. So it was all dope. And then when we linked up, he kind of had an energy of like, I'm only doing this for content. And then he kind of had like an energy of like, I'm trying to low key show you that my plan that I had told you years ago was right and shit worked out. So he was kind of trying to like rub in my face that his like success and content creating worked out, and it was kind of awkward, but I have nothing but love for this dude, man. Like no matter what, I am like damn near his #1 fan. You know what I'm saying? I comment on every video. I'm fully like supportive. He just does not rock with me, and y'all gonna figure out why as we dive into this reaction. So with that being said, man, let's get straight up into it. You dig? Here we go.
Jumanne, before I start this video, I want to say I'm not a mental health professional, so anything I say in this video could be wrong because I'm nobody to diagnose.
Definitely not a mental health professional.
But I started this video because, you know, sometimes when I have my personal time and I'm just chilling and I'm kind of down bad mentally, you know, I like to watch psychology videos and try to learn about myself, really self-diagnose, but then I also find it interesting in as well. So this video,
let's pause right there. As y'all know, Jumanne's the most self-diagnosed, self-aware person who continues to be self-aware but continues to do what they do. So first of all, I want to say I've showed this man nothing but love, right? And after this video, I love him still. I forever will. He can't do anything to make me hate him. But the fact that he demonized me like this, it brought out a different part of me that I'm gonna break this. I'm finna break this down, and y'all is finna see and learn more about him from a person who grew up with him. Okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all a lot of stuff that may reveal a lot to y'all and may get y'all to understand him a little better. Okay? So let's get back to the video.
I'm learning is psychopath is more of a term, not necessarily a term that's actually used in you know, the mental health professionals. Does not include psychopath as a diagnosis. So, you know, I'm just Googling a few different things so I kind of know what to say for this video.
Let's stop right there. Yeah. Hey, bro, Google will tell you a cat is a dog. Google will tell you that your nose being runny is cancer. Let's get back to it.
Yeah. So psychopath is more of traits, right? Like that's what I'm going to be using the term psychopath for, to describe the traits that I have, that my friend has, but also traits that you know, I see in myself as well. You know, I've talked about myself being a narcissist. I talked about feeling like I might have borderline personality disorder, and I'm trying to be better, and I'm really I do self-diagnose, and I also reflect. You know, that's where.
So Jumanne always states that he is a narcissist. I'm not one to do what he's doing and diagnose anybody, but you know, I live life too. So when you live life, you experience certain behaviors from people that certain labels can help you to understand it. So as a narcissist, from the things I've experienced in life, from those who I deemed a narcissist or who had the traits that if you were to like define one is, he definitely is one. What I noticed, and this is what I think this whole video is even stemming from, is I think when we met up, and I'm gonna get into that in the video, he seen how I took my struggles, I took my pain, I took my downfalls, and I capitalized on them. And when you watch our older video of when we first reconnected, and you see how I explained my entire like story, I feel like when he heard me explain how many times I fell down and I got back up, I fell down, I got back up, I learned, and I like recovered. When he seen that we was in my commercial space that I happened to acquire after I lost everything, I'm still able to come back. I feel like it created a level of, I don't even know what to call the emotion. I don't want to say jealousy or shame or guilt or whatever, but it felt weird. And I think when he went home and sat down and he was like, damn, like this dude just explained everything of what he lost and whatever, and he still is conquering his battles and getting through them. You know what I'm saying? And Jumanne actually capitalized and went to goddamn Vegas after that video to get more deep into his struggles. You feel me?
It really comes from, because I can only go through the problems that I've been going through for so long. And being someone that genuinely wants better for themselves, I have to consider where the root to my problems is, and if I'm not going to be
he will
insane,
say he wants better for
what
himself.
can I do differently? What am I going to?
But do you, bro?
First of all, understanding what needs to be done or understanding what the problem is first, and then looking at the options of what needs to be done. Then look at what I'm doing, and then kind of go from there. Even though I've had my share of.
We're gonna skip this. I'm gonna get to him saying all of like the stuff. All right, y'all. Like here we go. So we're gonna go through like the numeric of 1, 2, 3, etc. And I'm gonna just react to those. Okay.
So core psychopathic traits: lack of remorse or guilt. That applies to this person that I know. Lack of empathy. They have difficult understanding or sharing the feelings of others. I think empathy more on an emotional level, where they just don't. I think this person understands how people feels, but they don't care. They genuinely don't feel the empathy. All
right. So we're gonna talk about the first one, about empathy and remorse, right? So Jumanne feels this way about me because me and him are two different individuals. Okay. I'm the type of person, I don't sit in my head. Okay. I may sit in my head to figure out a game plan, and then I go and I get it, or I change my circumstance. He sits in his head and sits in his low like self-esteem to where it hinders him from doing action that's going to change his situation. I'm the type, if I go through something, I'm gonna sit in it for like a second and be like, damn, okay, I'm screwed up. How do I get out of this? How do I change? How do I develop? How do I grow? You know what I'm saying? And I get out of it. So with him explaining the whole like remorse and empathy, is because I'm a friend that provides drive. So I always tell him like, yo, if you want to do this, do it. Or if you really want to like change. So as y'all can see, his patterns are, he repeats the same things over and over and over. So I would tell him, bruh, if you want a different reality, go after it and go get it. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I would explain that to him, he would tell me, I'm not understanding how he feels. And so luckily, as I grew up, I identified that as a feminine trait, and we was both raised by like women. Luckily, I sought out men who I could use as role models, who actually taught me a lot of stuff that helped me become and live in a certain energy that made me resilient. Okay. And I don't think he put himself in that position to develop those traits. And so when you're raised by women or like the feminine energy, you're stuck in your feelings, you know what I'm saying, over what you have to do. So you can sit around and feel all day, or you can get up and do what you have to do. I learned early that I'm always going to feel, and feelings are temporary. So after I feel, I got to get to get up and do so I can change those feelings. You know what I'm saying? So that's to explain and to react to number one. Let's get into number two.
Okay, so psychopaths are often skilled at lying, manipulating others for their own personal gain, impulsivity, which this one I don't see that applies to this person I'm talking about. I actually feel like that applies to me more than it applies to
Doesn't
who I'm
apply to
talking
me.
about. They tend to act without thinking about the consequences of their
So
actions.
it does apply to him because when we were younger, when I tell y'all that Jumanne would be down to do some crazy stuff, and I would be the voice saying, "Chill out, bruh. Let's not do that, bruh. That joint crazy, bruh. We could get in trouble or hurt, bruh. You feel me?" And I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all stories, but man, I do have some stories of situations where I'm like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I was smart enough to not partake in those activities, but he's been a person who's been impulsive since we were kids, okay? So that is true.
Now, I do think about the consequences of my actions, but my tolerance and just where I'm at in life at this point where I'm very likely to be, I don't know what's the difference from impulsive and compulsive, honestly, but I just know I act off emotion, and kind of why I'm recording this video is more of on an emotion. Like I don't know how to handle this situation because
Boom. Let's stop right there. Boom. Notice how he said a part of why I'm making this video is emotion. And he doesn't know how to feel, which is why I think the reason why he really made this video, y'all, is because y'all can check out my videos of like my journey of like my comeback like story where I lost it all and I'm in the process of coming back. You know, I was just sleeping in cars a year ago. I was just homeless a year ago. I was just broke a year ago. I lost everything, okay? And when he came and we did that like video, I broke all that like I broke it all down and I explained to him. And I think the fact that I persevere, because what breaks you also makes you. Your mindset, your empowerment is what gets you through everything. So if you pay attention, there's an emotional way of going about stuff, and there is a a driven way of going like about stuff. I believe you can either sit in your losses or turn them into wins. Okay. I believe every situation you go through is to empower you, because if you get through it and you conquered it, it says a lot about how tough you are. Okay, so I think a lot of this like video came from him feeling shame and feeling a guilt, because in the video, y'all, I taught him and showed him, and I didn't teach him. I told him and showed him how I quit the casino. I broke it down. I gave the reasons. I gave everything, and to me, it was logical enough to where once I explained something logical in my brain, I do it. So if I tell myself, yo, are you stupid for gambling and losing all of your like money? Truly? Like, do you win or lose more? If you was a casino, would you want people winning or would you want people losing so that you could win? If you was the house, you know what I'm saying? Once I am able to logically explain like something, it's hard for me to make the same like mistakes again, because if I go against what I logically explain, I deem and label like myself as a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? So
this
yeah, that's what I can say.
person that I'm talking about will continue to come in my life, even though I've made it clear that I don't want to associate with this
Because
person.
I genuinely
And,
love
you
you,
know, there'll be
but
times I'll reconnect, but I'm
this
done
video is crazy.
reconnecting. And, you know, yeah, but to back on the impulsive thing, like, I feel like that applies to me more than them. Like, I'm more this
We're gonna skip to number 3, y'all.
superficial charm and grandiose sense of self-worth. Now this part, I've dealt with this so much. This person is very charming, very cool, very friendly, but it's all an act, and I know that,
You don't know
they
nothing
know
about me,
that,
bro. It's been
but nobody
years.
else knows
Why
that.
nobody else know
And
it?
I hate the fact that I've been around this person and I know this person for who they are, and this person would turn other people against me, not knowing who this
I've never
person
done
is.
that.
And you know, just seeing this person play both sides to people, like where this person will literally be like on the phone with somebody having a conversation, making it seem like everything's cool, everything's okay. Soon as they get off the phone, they're talking completely bad about this person in the
All
most
right,
negative
y'all.
way. Like
Next one, let's break that down. He claims that I would backdoor people and be on the phone with them. And the moment I hang up, I'm talking shit about them. I'm gonna tell y'all the real thing about that, okay? That has to do with women, okay? So now, growing up, I looked up to this dude like a motherfucker because when we was younger, as y'all can see, he was very cocky, he was very arrogant, but he was confident. And Jumanne was my first friend when I first came to America, and he was so cool. He was so confident. He believed in himself like much to where it revelated to those around him. So I was like, wow, I'm an African booty scratcher straight off the boat, and this is the coolest like Black American. He was my first Black American like friend when I first came to the country, and I just like remember just thinking he was so cool because of how confident he was and the fact that he looked like me and he could be like that cool. I was bullied a lot because I was fresh off the boat. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, when he talks about this, getting off the phone and talking shit, it reached a point where, right, I got more girls than him, okay? And a part of it is because, as y'all know, Jumanne is kind of a simp, okay? He stayed in a mindset about girls that is not reality. He's still into like love them, and don't get me wrong, you're supposed to love a chick, right? But you learn their nature as a man, and you understand how to move, and you understand their intentions. So during my teenager years, I understood that girls would use me a lot, like for dates, use me for experiences. It's in their nature. If you date like I'm the girls right now, you know, and for those who know, who are some real, you know what I'm saying, who actually experience and deal with women, you know that you're giving more than you are getting. So I understood that, and I understood that they went after you for that, for you to create experiences for them, right? So I would be on the phone with a chick who I clearly know is trying to use me for a date, a meal, or something. So as your boy, you feel me? You hang up and you like, yo, Shorty just said that we're like going to like the like mall, and I know like she want me to like to pay for like everything and da da da. Man, you know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. Just regular conversations like that that you would have with your boy, but he would be like, "Don't say that about them. They're a queen. You're supposed to blah blah." And like I was once like that, and I learned the hard way that if you're like that, they're gonna take advantage of you. So he never updated his game still to this day to where he understands a female's like nature and how to move like about things as a man. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that is coming from. I never spoke about like people. Like it wasn't like I was talking to like a dude. I was like, yo, F this nigga afterwards. And you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. This would be mostly females who I would know was trying to play me and finesse me and have experiences like off of me and give and take more like than they give. So you obviously talk a little shit with your homeboy about that joint because it's your homeboy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Immediately. I've seen this over 100 times, literally throughout. I've knew this person for a
exaggerated.
long time, and they will do things like that. Like they'll be in somebody's face, ha ha ha, what's up, and as soon as the other person turns their back, they'll just it's like they'll remove.
That he made up completely. I don't even move like that. I'm real. If I feel some type of way about you, and my character speaks for itself in my community. If I feel a certain way about anybody, I honestly tell them whether it makes them hate me, whether it comes off as mean. I say it's love, but I'm honest. I'm honest. So, but I'm gonna explain to you guys why Jumanne is saying all of this stuff. Truly, okay. So let's get into it.
Their mask, and and I think everyone kind of, you probably seen it. Like I know I've seen it at work a lot, what I mean, but there's levels to a lot of this stuff too. So again, I'm just kind of expressing like what I've seen and what I've known. It's kind of like knowing somebody that's a snake, but everyone else like doesn't realize that this person is very dangerous. Need for stimulation, they crave excitement and may become bored easily. I think that applies to me too. So I go to the casino, I gamble for dopamine. So I do. And then I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's like callousness or disregard for others. lack of empathy. They have a limited concern for others' feelings and well-being for others. Exactly. This person will pretend like they actually care about your well-being, but really they only care about controlling you. So, you know, I know this person to talk about like, yo, like I just want you to be better. I just want the better for you, but really they want you to listen to what they have to say just because they want you to I don't even know how to pronounce. I don't know how to
Yeah,
talk.
because what you're saying is bullshit.
They want to be superior to you, right? So this person will tell you to do things and they'll make it seem as if they're coming from a place of love, but they're really coming from a place of control and what grandiose, just just thinking they're better than you, they're smarter than you.
All right, y'all. So y'all already know why he's saying that. He's saying that because number one, I don't move like that. I genuinely care for people, and like I always say, man, like my character in my community speaks for itself. I've taken L's. I literally have gone through the pain that I have gone through in my life for putting myself last all the time. I'm gonna just say this, and this is going because this video is already 20 minutes, and so if y'all want a part two, and for me to continue, run this up and let me know. I'm gonna say this, okay? Number one, the reason why he is saying that is because every time I've given him advice, all right, he doesn't accept it. And when I give him advice, it's from genuine places of love and care because 12 years ago when he decided to do this whole social media thing and this like viral thing, I simply told him, bro, I care about your mental health, your well-being, and your the social status that is going to bring you. And y'all see half his videos, he's talking about mental health. Y'all see how it's affecting his social status. It's affecting everything. That was what I told him was going to happen. And I didn't say that to be right, to be superior. I said it out of genuine love because now look at what it's affecting. We're 30 years old now. 30 years old. And what does he have to show? And that was what I was caring about. But he calls that not unconditionally loving him and supporting him. So at that point, how am I controlling? How am I trying to control if I say my statement and I leave you be? I'm gonna tell y'all this. Unfortunately, Jumanne is a person because I know some people are going to be able to understand this. Okay, we all have friends who are stuck in a certain timeline, and it could either be middle school or high school, but you come around them and they constantly bring up like the past. It's like they're so stuck in the past that they cannot update like themselves to the future. So when we was in high school, okay, the roles kind of flipped to where I became very popular because I was bullied a lot, but I told myself I'm gonna always like stay true to myself. So no matter how I seemed, I said no matter what, I'm gonna stay true to who I am, and I'm not gonna try to emulate any other thing. I'm gonna be who I am, and people are going to accept me and love me for how and who I am. No matter if I dress corny, I used to wear V-necks and dress like freaking like cartoon and wear button ups in high school and like professional attire. You know what I'm saying? And eventually I became popular for just being me. Okay. And then I got into sports, athletics, etc. So now Jumanne's reputation, it was not the same because he had moved to Virginia. And I think a lot of his trauma comes from when he moved to Virginia. But I'll get into that in part two if y'all want to hear that. So in high school, I became very popular, and that's my boy. So if you get the juice in high school, your boys got the juice. So I would put Jumanne on with everything I get. If I hang out with a crew, I'm introducing him. Yo, like this is blah, blah, blah. If girls, I'll put him on with girls. I'll anything that I would do. That's my brother. That is my boy. He's with me, right? But he would never capitalize on any of it. So I would put him on with girls. He wouldn't flirt. I have to tell him like, yo, bro, you gotta do stuff. You gotta flirt. Like you gotta like spit your game. You can't just like sit there with your hand in your pocket. We will go to parties, okay? And growing up, we used to dance. We used to freak. So at the parties, people are drinking, smoking, and freaking. And Jumanne was never the type to really like drink or smoke, but we will be dancing on girls and freaking, and he'll be too shy to dance with girls and to freak. So as a friend, I would do my part and throw all of my resources, all of my things at him, put him on every way because me and him, like we come from the same place since elementary school. I used to be a booty scratcher, and now I found, like myself and he been like my homie for years, and so I put him on with everything I had. He never capitalized on any of it. No parties, no girls, no like freaking like social groups. He would literally just be quiet and not even talk, hands in his pocket, and not even like try to show who he, you know what I'm saying, like express who he was. So it's really all his doing, and y'all see it in his videos. He has the opportunity to grow, to change, and he doesn't. And that was the same energy that he had when we was kids. So he's stuck in our every way that he's like judging me and seeing me is from high school. All of the things that he's saying that I am or he feels is from his feelings in high school of what he thought. He thought that I was being weird because I would hang out with a whole lot of people, and eventually it got to a point where he would be so awkward that like I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know if I should bring him or not because he made me like think that he didn't like. It was just so weird. But I was loyal and I've been loyal and I still love this dude. So yeah, y'all gotta express that because like that's a big part of everything. He has not grown. He has not graduated. He has not elevated from a high school mindset. He still judges people because I haven't literally, he doesn't know anything about me within like the past 12 years, but yet he makes a video acting as though he still like knows me, and he doesn't. I'm a complete man. We are 30 years old now. I am not, you don't even know the journey I've had in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I need to make that one clear because he is stuck in a certain timeline, and that is what brings a lot of his pain. Is he keeps himself stuck in middle school and high school, and he needs to understand that those days are over and you make your life after that. After those years is when you get into the prime you, and he just hasn't, y'all. So I'm gonna stop the video here. If y'all want a part 2, we can get into it. It's your boy Kofi. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want more. All right, peace.